Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining me today. We're going to be doing a 30-minute yoga practice with a lot of side bends and twists, perfect for the solar plexus chakra. I thought that was appropriate because it is a beautiful day right before the summer solstice, and I wanted to get a nice energizing twisty practice in. So if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and begin at the back of the mat in child's pose. Grounding here. Last breath, in and out. Start to lift up, coming to a tabletop position. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. We'll take a few rounds of cat and cow. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, curl tailbone up. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Press the ground away from you. Take a few breaths just like this, moving at your own pace. One more cycle. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll inhale, take your right hand up to the sky. Exhale, thread it through, hover halfway. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, threading it through underneath the left arm. Last one, inhale. Exhale, this time bring your shoulder and ear to the mat. With your left hand, you can either straighten it up to the top of the mat, or you can wrap it behind your back, reaching for your opposite hip or thigh. Try to breathe deep into your belly. The left hand comes back in front of your face. Press into the palm, lift all the way back up, and release right hand down. We'll do that on the second side. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread it through, hover halfway. Inhale, up. Exhale, hover. One more, inhale. And exhale, shoulder and ear to the mat. Right hand either extends or wraps behind you. Right hand comes to the mat. Press into the palm, lift all the way up. Left hand to the sky. And release down to the mat. With your right leg, extend the knee. Bring it into your chest. Inhale to extend. Exhale, bring it in. Last one, inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. And then we're going to extend it back, cross the right leg over to the left, and then look over your left shoulder at the right heel, pressing out into your left hip, making a big curve with the spine. Facing back to the front of the mat, your right leg is going to step out to the side. Ankle, hip, and knee are all roughly in line with one another. We're going to take a few cat-cow motions in this position. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch the spine. Move with your breath. One more. Coming back to neutral, we are going to extend left arm up to the sky and then thread it through just like we did before. Maybe reaching to catch a hold of the big toe on the right foot. Or if you can't reach, that's okay too. Right arm can either extend to the top of the mat or wrap behind you. Right hand comes back to the mat, lifting up, back to both hands on the mat. We're going to step the right leg forward to the outside of our right hand, shifting the hips back and forth, getting comfortable here. Maybe moving the palms a little further away from you. Getting any movement that feels good here. Next time you're in this lunge, we're going to stay here in lizard. And then you have a few options. You can either stay just as you are, or you can open up your right hip, dropping the knee to the side, coming onto the blade, the pinky toe edge of that right. And then you can either stay as you are or come onto your elbows. Whichever variation of the pose feels good in your body today. If you're on your elbows, come back up to your hands. If your knee is out, go ahead and bring it back in, foot coming back to the mat. And then from here, we're going to just step back to tabletop. Take any movement you need to reset the spine, reset the hips. When you're ready, we'll repeat on the second side. As you inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, bringing it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale in. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Next time you inhale, extend. We're going to cross the left foot over to the right. Look over the right shoulder toward the foot. pressing out into the left hip. Face back toward the front. The left leg comes out to the side. Ankle, hip, and knee in line. Taking that cat-cow motion here. Last one. Coming back to neutral spine. Right hand this time comes up to the sky. Exhale, thread it through underneath the left, maybe catching a hold of the big left toe. Left arm either extends or wraps behind. Left hand unwinds, comes back to the mat, pressing up, back to our hands. Left foot steps forward to the outside of the left hand, maybe bringing those hands forward a few inches. And then extend and bend the leg, moving back and forth. And then we'll settle in our lunge, coming to whatever variation feels good on this side. Maybe staying lifted, maybe coming to the elbows, maybe foot flat to the mat, maybe rolling to the pinky toe side, dropping the knee open. One side might feel different than the other, so don't feel like you have to do it the same way you did before. We'll all come up to our hands if we weren't already. Bring the left knee in, left foot flat to the mat, and then step the feet back. We'll meet in child's pose, big toes together, hips going back. Take one more big breath here, in and out. We're going to lift up, coming to our first downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, hips go up and back. Take a moment to paddle out the feet. Bending one knee, straightening the other. Shake out your head, yes and no. Just taking any movement that feels good in this position. And then we're going to reach both heels in the direction of the mat. Don't worry about if they touch or not. Curl your tailbone up to the sky. Press your chest toward your thighs. Right leg is going to extend up behind us. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Maybe looking over the left shoulder to see if you can see the right toes. Looking forward, step to the top of the mat, coming to our low lunge. Anjaneyasana, arms raised to the sky. Interlace your hands, bring them to the back of the head. Diamond arms, pressing the elbows back behind you. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, dip your right elbow down. Side bend. Inhale through center. Exhale, left elbow down. Inhale, center. Release the hands from behind the head and then open up toward the right, toward your thigh. Maybe looking back behind you. From here, we are going to tuck our back toes, the left toes under, and then lift the left knee up, coming to our high lunge, staying in your twist. And then we're going to pivot into goddess pose. So we're going to turn arms up to the top of the mat, pivot on the back foot, sinking down into goddess. Last breath here, inhale, exhale, press to straighten the legs, straighten the arms, catching a hold of the right wrist with the left hand, lean it over to the back of the mat, come through center, switch hands, leaning to the other side. Release the arms. Hands come to your hips. Turn your feet so they're parallel with the short edges of the mat. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold forward to our wide-legged fold. Halfway lift, so your chest is parallel to the ground. Your hands are roughly underneath your face. We're going to inhale, right hand to the sky, either staying here or you can wrap it behind your back, reaching toward the hip or the thigh. Go ahead and unwind, switching sides, left hand up, and then maybe wrapping behind the back. Coming back, unwind, hands to the mat, walk your hands over toward the right leg, so toward the top of the mat, and fold forward, maybe catching a hold of the leg or the foot. Just folding toward the right leg. Halfway lift, hands come to the mat, framing the foot. Pivot both feet so you're facing the top of the mat. Back in our runner's lunge. And then just go ahead and move back and forth here, getting more into the calf and the ankle. Plant both hands down, step back to down dog. And just like before, take a minute, paddle it out. Or if you would like, you can add a vinyasa. I won't be doing any today, but you can feel free to if you want to. Reach both heels in the direction of the mat. Left leg rises. Bend the knee. Look over the right shoulder. See if you can see those toes. Looking forward, step to the top of the mat. Interlace the hands the more unusual way. So with your other thumb on bottom, bringing them behind the head, open your chest, elbows reach back. Dip the left elbow down. Move through center. Exhale, right elbow down. Inhale through center. Arms reaching up to the sky, and then we're going to open up to the left this time. So still facing toward your thigh. Tuck your right toes under, and then lift the right knee, high lunge. We'll pivot from here into goddess, just like we did before. So first, arms come up, reaching to the top of the mat, and then pivot both feet, both legs, sinking down to goddess. Heels in, toes out. Shoulders stacking over the hips. Really try and squeeze those shoulder blades. You've got this. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Straighten the legs. Arms reach up. Catching a hold of right wrist, left hand. Reach to the top of the mat. Inhale up, switch hands, and reach to the back of the mat. Inhale through center. Hands come to your hips. Turn your feet parallel with the short edges of the mat. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Bring the chest parallel with the ground. Hands under your face. Find your twist. Right hand up. And maybe wrap behind. Unwrap the arms. Switch sides, left hand up. Maybe looking up to the sky if that's comfortable. Come back through center. Walk your hands over to the left leg, catching a hold of whatever's accessible, folding toward the leg. Lift halfway, frame the foot, pivot both feet facing the top of the mat, coming to your runner's lunge, shifting back and forth. And then we'll step back to downward facing dog. Paddling out the feet. And if you want, you can take a vinyasa here. Bring your knees down. We'll come back to child's pose for a couple breaths. Halfway lift your head. Walk your hands over to the right, stacking left hand over the right, and then bring forehead back to the mat. Keep reaching your hips in the direction of your heels. Stretching down the left side body. Walk the hands back through center and then switch sides. Right hand stacks over left. Walk the hands back through center. Take a breath, reset. From here, we're going to slide down onto our bellies, come through Sphinx pose, stacking shoulders over the elbows, hands, hips, and tops of feet press into the mat. Shine your heart forward. Curl your tailbone down toward your heels. Next, we're going to come into another variation of thread the needle. First, we'll bring the right knee out to the side, and then we're going to press into the right palm to lift the elbow. Left arm threads through underneath the right arm. Right arm is going to come up to the sky and then all the way over. Maybe looking over toward that right hand, if that's comfortable for your neck. We're going to come out in the reverse way of how we came in. So first the right hand comes back up to the sky, and then all the way back over. Hand presses into the mat to lift the left arm. Both elbows come down to the mat, straightening the legs. Take a moment in the center to reset. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Second side, left leg bends, comes out to the side. Press into the left palm. Lift the elbow. Right arm threads through. Left arm comes first to the sky, and then all the way over, looking toward the left. We're going to come all the way onto our backs here, so press into that left foot to help you roll it over. Then you might just need to readjust, center yourself on the mat. Once you're in the center, we're going to come into banana pose. So shift your hips so they're over to the right side of the mat. Bring your shoulders and upper body to the left side, straightening the legs down to the left corner of the mat, maybe crossing the right ankle over the left. Your arms can extend overhead. Maybe you clasp onto your elbows, or maybe the left hand catches a hold of the right wrist, pulling it over to the side. So our whole body is facing up to the sky, just getting a big side bend, keeping that right hip and glute pressing down. Release the hold of your wrist or elbows. Uncross your legs. We're just going to shift to the second side. So your hips go left. Shoulders and ankles go right. Maybe crossing the ankles. Maybe arms come overhead. Come back into the center of your mat, taking any movement that you need, any adjustments you need to make before we settle in for Shavasana. Arms and legs resting down on the mat. Taking a moment in stillness and silence. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you would like, but if you're ready to come out with me, start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. Let's reach our arms up overhead, creating space between fingertips and toes. You can roll to one side and then use your hands for support as you come up into a seated position. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more yoga. Thank you. Namaste.